Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Marietta County Board of Commissioners September 2016 regular scheduled meeting. We'll call this meeting to order. We will stand for the invitation, followed by the pledge of allegiance.
Always wondered about Lord, we just couldn't do this time. It's always thank you for the much that you've done for us through the years. And we even thank you in advance for that you're going to be watching in the years to come. And Father, we just ask now that you give us some wisdom, the understanding, whatever guidance to be able to do business here in the early year. Lord, we just ask you to give us for all our shortcomings. These things we ask in that name of all. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. If you have any electronic devices, you'll need those for the duration of the meeting. We would appreciate it. Next item on the agenda is to adopt the agenda. Are there any additions or changes that need to be made?
I'm good. Yes, Chairman. Staff requests that the Board of Commissioners amend the agenda to include 3 additional items under new business. 6, develop and execute an intergovernmental agreement with the City of Manchester allowing use of one of our second-tier engines. 7, closure of streets during the airport activities and flying on October 16th. And 8, discussion of IT services.
Thank you very much. Anybody get that? During the recommendations to add to the agenda, do I have a motion to accept?
So moved.
I have a motion, do I have a second? Second. Motion and a second, all in favor? Motion carries. Next item of the minutes from the September 8, 2021, 9 a.m. meeting. Should have had time to read those. Are there any changes, anything that needs to be done? Hearing none, do I have a motion to accept the minutes?
So moved.
Second. Motion and a second, all in favor?
Motion to your
Yes.
All right, next item is municipal comment. Mayor Glover, are you on? Don't see anyone else. All right. Next item is constitutional officers. Sheriff's Office, area. No, is it?
I'd like to say something.
Okay.
So I see that it is on the agenda now that, we plan on discussing IT support, and I'd like to ask if that's going to involve my office, because I tried to be on the agenda, I actually requested it in the last meeting, and, apparently I didn't make it on the agenda.
Well, let's clarify why. You requested to be on this agenda for my request to you to do so. Then 24 hours later, we sent another request saying that it's too long a period to wait, and you wanted an earlier meeting, so we accommodated you and had a meeting on that following Monday.
I think you should look at the email again, Chairman Treadwell, because I didn't say I didn't want to be on the agenda.
But you requested a meeting for the same amount, so therefore you're not on the agenda for the next meeting.
I never said I didn't want to be on the next meeting. And so I really think that it would be nice to be able to discuss the problems that
But
we
we
have
discussed it for
instead of
8.5
coming in.
months. We have discussed it for 8.5 months, yeah.
And I think that we should have a resolution, and I'm
Me
asking
too, but
if
we
this
cannot
board
work with you.
will come to, if you can't work with me, how about some mediation services? that
We don't need
can
any changes. This is the only time that this board and any board that I've served on, besides the individual, had a problem. So to
If
me,
you're
that's the only
gonna,
mediation.
if you're gonna continue to refuse to communicate with my office, then what can we do?
We haven't refused to communicate with your office.
We
have
have several
accommodated. No,
meetings that
we
you
have.
have shut down, Chairman Brandon.
You are out of order. Have a good day.
I'm
Will you
not,
please escort the tax commissioner out?
I'd like to speak during the public.
You are out of order.
I think this is
Please leave.
a violation, and
No, it's not.
Mr. Hill, if you want to step in here, you're gonna save the county some money, because this is going to get pretty ridiculous.
Well, let's
And I think, Chairman Threadgill, that you don't want to embarrass this county anymore.
Wow, you're already in a elected position. Is that not embarrassment enough?
If you're going to refuse, if you're gonna have me escorted out by a
Because you
sheriff's deputy, and,
Let me tell
okay,
you
let me
something.
just see, is,
But
are
here's the whole issue
you,
that you
married
have.
to another
And
member?
we're coming up here, you know, legislation, just
But let me say this, Kat, we would work with you and we would talk with you. The issue is, you never stop talking. You don't want to hear what anybody else has to say. All you want is what you say, and then that's it. And it has continued and continued and continued to the point that we're done.
No, this is what happens, you need me, you
What?
won't allow me to speak.
Kat, all you've done for 8.5 hours is speak.
Every time I brought it up, you won't let me talk about IT issues that were happening.
Because you want to make accusations just like you did when you came up here. I requested to be on the agenda. Tell the entire story why you are not on today, because you requested an additional meeting, Kat. You do it like
And
that.
as I said, it's an additional meeting, it wasn't one or the other.
No, you said that in your email, you said that will not work, I need to meet prior to that. So that's what we accommodated. It's not both. We have set up a meeting for you to be on the board agenda to talk to us. You wanted a meeting prior to that. We accommodated that.
And then you closed the meeting down without.
Why did I close it down, Kat?
Because you refused to do
No,
that.
why did I say you're telling stories like you do, just like you did on Aaron Gay in that meeting?
I think that's ridiculous. You were the one.
I recorded the entire meeting.
Who was the one who was using curse words during that meeting?
I was not doing it, it was after.
No, you pretty much shut the meeting down.
I don't
and then
care.
started
You can say what you
doing
want to, Kat. I don't really care. Either you can finish this, these people are here for a reason, or you can leave.
I think we could discuss.
Of course you
problems
think. I'm done with
that
this.
are here. And so if you refuse to do this, this is gonna
I
cost the county a lot. of money. So,
All right, next item is department
and
head.
I would ask the rest of the board if you're acceptable with this, because this,
Mr. Chairman, we have been through this multiple times. We have seen the emails. We saw the same email that he did where you said that was not satisfactory to meet with us at the next meeting. You wanted an earlier meeting. Now, I don't know what's going on at all the meetings. I think our administrator, Michelle, was gonna meet with you also. I'm assuming that took place at some time. But I mean, come on. I mean, you know, we've been on this board a long time. We have worked with every elected official with no issues. Not that we always agree,
But it hasn't been like
but
this.
it has not been that way. And I mean, I don't understand it. Usually you don't even have to be
try
involved.
to intimidate and harass other members that are elected. The meeting we had with with Chairman Fredgill, Commissioner before he was there, how long did it last? About 2 minutes.
6.5 minutes.
6.5 minutes? I don't know when the start time and the beginning time was at, but I think I spoke for about 1.5 minutes.
We've got to be able to work and get things done, absolutely.
Yes.
But, I mean, but you got to help too.
Yeah, you got
So
to.
what can I do to make this work?
Kat, I'll tell you what you can do for me. You want us to listen, and that's all you want us to do. You want us to hear everything you say, but you do not want to hear anything on our end. We met with you, Rosal, myself, Theron, and Skip, met with you in your office with your deputy tax commissioner. We had talked it out, we thought everything was fine. You took the gentleman around, you showed him where the cables needed to be. Next thing we know, he's on the phone with Theron Gay saying, she stopped the work, she wants a work order. No, hold on, I'm talking, see, this is the problem. Your story was that work stopped because Theron Gay told him to leave. You don't tell the truth, you don't tell the entire thing. The work stopped because of you. He called Theron Gay and Theron told him to leave because this is the 15th or 16th time that you have stopped work in your department and you want to blame everybody in this county except yourself. Take responsibility. You are a grown woman and you are an elected official.
And I was going.
Sure you can.
So the reason
Let me
is
say one
why.
thing. I apologize to all y'all for having to see this tonight.
Mr. Chairman, let me just say that when the IT thing comes up, my recommendation is going to be that this chief go out, we have this full-time person that doesn't see right. We go out and we hire the first take 3 bids on IT services, bring it back to the board for approval. And I think we need to leave the budget where it is tonight. We can adjust it at that time. I agree, that'd be my recommendation, is if we could see, the services. We try the services, we try to help, it costs us money, I always have to get involved, someone else has to get involved, someone else has to do it. All over 2 internet lines running through, we had people thrown out of the office. Our IT folks are just tired, we want her to go and see 3 bids, IT services, bring them back, And then let's, we'll adjust, we'll make that happen, and then she can have her own IT, group that she can call, if they unplug 5 cables on a Friday afternoon, like they did here a few weeks ago. For some reason, we're not trying to, call Skip if he's out of town to come back down and fix the mess. That's the best way to do it. We
And
can try.
that is a good suggestion, but I thought we'd already decided that long time ago that she would go out to service. Did we not discuss that?
We thought that was what was happening.
Again, this is the discussion. I haven't been able to say more than a couple sentences about being a hero.
But let me say one, this is our meeting, not yours. Let's put that clear. If you wanna have a meeting with the county, do a town hall meeting. When you come before the board of commissioners, understand this is our meeting. But I'm going to address the point that you brought up about the family.
And that's why I can sit on to make decisions about any
You want to have it
contracts
removed?
because.
I'm trying to work with you and listen to you, but I am
You
going,
are not listening to what I'm saying.
you are out of order.
I think the person who's raising their voice is the one out of order.
No, I'm not out of order. I'm running this meeting, it's not your meeting.
Mr. Chairman, I bet you've already, you heard what Mr. Gates said, about this decision we already made, you're gonna go out.
And she was part of the conversation.
Yes, very much so. So why don't you just go out and get your bids, bring it down, we have to adjust your budget, that's what we do, and then it's done. I don't think you.
That was part of the conversation we were all
because-
debating and there two possibilities of doing that. But let me address the part where you said who was using profanity in that meeting. What I suggest to the citizens of this county is to do an open records request and very specifically request a letter from the ward of Harris County.
Oh, I would love that.
Oh, well, yes, I would love for him to be printed, because the words that you used toward the correction officer in that letter from the ward, and you want to say something about the word that I said,
I
I
will
don't
say
think it
something
matches
about the word
either.
you said, because you did use two
I did,
different.
but do not throw me under the bus with profanity when you yourself have taken a correction officer from, that we have a contract with from another county that almost cost this county a contract with them because of you.
The issue in that case was that.
I don't need to hear your words. I'm saying, I'm talking to the citizens of this.
This is that.
You are
you
done.
will not
Have a good day.
let me say a word. I said two
You
times.
can leave.
I'm gonna speak to the public here.
No, you're not.
But, we've already come to the conclusion that I can't speak here because I can't actually say more than 3 sentences.
Because every time you come in there with, no, you know what, you are so crazy. I mean, you really are crazy, I think. You come up here and you're sitting here laughing about a situation where you create this drama. It is not this board. I have never had an issue with a constitutional officer or anything in this case.
It's your reaction to the fact.
It's your actions that have me having a reaction.
That's what abusers say.
Oh, you
That's
don't
all
want
I
to
think.
do.
Let's make sure that we got all these people waiting, now.
This is county business.
I know, it's not tax commissioner. Commissioner.
Well, I can, I'll commission in a couple minutes about.
Go ahead,
I was just gonna ask for you, but already pass it down.
I mean, I'll see you. Come back on me.
It's not a constitutional officer. This is a constitutional officer.
Yeah. And again, I apologize.
I'd also like to apologize, I'm just trying to get IT for my office some support so I can use the new computers that I bought. But I
Been
have
trying
to-
for 8.5 months.
Just for the record, yeah, let Mr. Bates, I was at the meeting, that I was through there and I listened out. And when we walked through, and you pointed out everything that you were reading, and you wanted to have each of your new employees have their own desk, their own computer, and their own printer. And of course, certain things we're trying to understand what all it was that you needed. We were there over an hour, and when we left, it was agreed upon, those of us in the meeting, that everything would be done. Now, my question to you is pretty simple. If that was going to be a need for a work order, why didn't you generate the work order? And you don't have to answer that publicly now, but my thing is that when you make a request to the county, and we're willing to go and buy extra printers and extra computers and extra desks to accommodate 11 employees, that was a general concern on the budget. And with that being said, we're all willing to work with you within the confines of what you thought that you needed for your office. But with that being said, I just want to go on record and this is not the time or the place. And at this point, it would be to your advantage to go to an outside service. Don't keep working with the county because we don't need to keep that mess.
Thank you for giving me guidance on that. If I would like to answer the question you just asked. So the question is, why didn't I submit, actually, you asked a couple questions, but one of them was, why didn't I submit the work order? I don't know what work is being done. That's why I requested a work order from the county to tell me exactly what was being done. The work that I had requested was being done, but this other addition was what I questioned, and that's what I wanted to have, some written verification on what's being done in my office. It's not unreasonable to ask for that. So that's the mix of it, and so after I asked for written verification of what.
Let me answer this, let me stop you right there, let me stop you. Who was responsible for requesting the equipment? Who requested the equipment? You did. Okay, it's your office. You should have generated the work order. That you wanted one.
The work order, and let me answer that question.
We don't have time. We've got a public hearing, and you're holding all these people for a public hearing on an issue that's much more important. And at this point, I think we're all in agreement that you probably need to seek your own individual IT services.
That is perfectly fine. That's the kind of verification that I needed from, that's it. That would be fine. I talked to several agencies. It's gonna cost about $400.
Bring it back to the board.
So we'll bring it back and we'll get we'll get that adjusted.
But Mr. Day made that recommendation that they didn't be in Roseville, he was skip for your office.
Well, I just think that making the taxpayers pay for extra services when this, our IT can do all the services throughout the rest of the county. I didn't think that was necessary, and that's why I said that I would be willing to work with the
The
county.
number of
But I
wasted
can't have
hours.
mandated, and I have someone who's coming in to work on my
I'm saying, no, we'll just make
and
this
say
discussion.
that they're gonna do something and I don't know what it is. I think I can get a
$400,
verification of that.
whatever.
That's
More
all I'm
requested
requesting.
with the time that we've spent on this.
I mean, we've had companies refuse to come back because of how they dispose of food in your office, and that has cost the county additional money.
I'd like you to say who that is, because I don't think that's true.
It is a culture that you got to meet.
No, I believe that's false information.
I'm sure you believe it, it's true. Anyway, we're moving on to the next, it's a part of it. And we also not even part of it, let's go. All right, next item on the agenda is public hearing, item number 1, fiscal year 2021-2022 budget. Do I have a motion to go into public hearing? So moved. A motion, do I have a second? Motion and a second, all in favor? Motion carries, we're in public hearing at 6:19. Don't cry.
You have before you the proposed budget for fiscal year 2021 and 2022. We went over it. And then in the last public hearing, I think at this point in time, the interest of time, unless you have any questions.
So the only thing I have, we're gonna have to adjust the budget for the tax commission, which we are, which is factored. I would recommend we just leave that budget where it was last year, which has been fully operational with the system number, until we get the new IT numbers and bring those back into the new talk about it. We always do a budget adjustment now, right? Now we do that.
We did make the adjustments to the fire district going in to reflect the tweaking we did on the limit rates. The insert you have covers that. I will make a comment as far as revenue, the current year we're in. So it's a phenomenal year with many of the, on the revenue sheet, I highlighted the areas which went over. EMS fees reflected what the budgeted excuse me, a lot of court services, probate court, real estate fees, those kind of things was really up, which enabled us to, fund some other additional things. I'll be glad to answer any questions.
Any board members have any questions?
Body of my time.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone in the public who wants to speak on this particular?
I would like to get clarification from what, Mr. Gay, and Mr. Gay, you're not the county administrator.
No, no, I'm not the county administrator, and I work for this board, I do not work for you, and I will take my direction from them. My recommendation was leave the budget right where it is, because we know we're gonna have to adjust it when the other comes in.
So I'm asking for clarification.
You guys,
You can
as
ask
far
the
as
questions to the board.
If, Mr. Gay, and does he have a specific title?
That's relevant to you, we're taking the recommendation.
But, Ms. James, let me ask you that.
If he's gonna speak to me, but I can't speak to him, do you see that that's not a miscommunication?
So what is your question?
So, Mr. Gay just said that he would like to keep the budget as it is, so can you clarify, are you talking about the 2020 budget, or are you talking about the 2021?
The same dollar amount that it was when you took office will be the budget for this year, because
So you're decreasing my budget,
don't leave it the same as
and
last year.
there's a decrease from what I.
It's not a
requested.
decrease, because we have not approved it to be the new budget, so therefore it's not.
Well,
It is
if you want
the
to
same.
play semantic games, that's what you're doing.
No, it's
But it's, when you approve the budget that is less than what I asked for, then it's a decrease from what I requested.
we have not voted on it.
So
It's a
after you vote
recommendation.
for it, and if you vote for what Mr. Gay had recommended, then that would be a decrease.
We voted to make the adjustment once we get whatever, will come back with the IC. We know we're gonna have to adjust your budget.
So again,
The adjustment can be
we're
done
in
then.
an argument on semantics because the budget has increased. In addition, and this is not even taking into account the additional IT support and internet service and phone service.
How many employees do you have, including yourself?
We've got 10,
And there's never been more than 6 in that office.
and we're actually gonna do business, but one of the important factors is
No, what I'm
that
saying
we have
is-
part-time employees, Sheriff Craigville. And so that actually costs the county less because there's less benefits associated with part-time employees.
Well, the cost last year budget was went up.
Mr. Craigville, there's a lot of things that go into the budget. It's not just on the salary, you have the number of
I've been in this
different.
9 years, how long have you been doing it? Anyway,
Am I able to get the budget I requested, or are you?
we haven't voted on
deny
it. We
Okay,
haven't voted.
are you going to take the recommendation from Mr. Day?
That is not for me to do. I'm gonna ask about that, and then we'll make motions, and whatever this board decides, we're gonna do.
And so if your approving my budget is contingent on future actions by me, can I get a timeline for when I will be able to have my budget increase to what I have requested right now?
Let me explain it, if you will let me. We leave it where, if we vote on this tonight, we'll leave it where it was when you came into office, okay? Just listen to it, let me see if I can get it out. And depending on the RFPs that you put out for IT services, we'll have to take that into consideration when those come in and see how much that is. If at some point during the year, your budget runs out for a valid reason, you have every right to come back before us to request a budget amendment to increase that at that time. It doesn't mean that's all, if we vote today, it doesn't mean that's all you're gonna get. If there is a issue, then you can always come back and request additional money.
So again, we're here today to discuss this, and this is an issue that has been ongoing, and yet I'm still not gonna have a resolution concerning my budget, what I'm allowed to spend. So if I
You
get,
said
can
this
we
is,
get any
no, you
kind
said
of
this is not going, the budget hasn't been
on,
ongoing.
the conditions that have required me to seek additional IT support have been, because we haven't been able to have any communication. that didn't end in you using a gavel or telling me to leave.
Right. And have I ever done that to any other constitutional officer? No.
Chairman Turco, I don't know why you like the dislike of me.
It's not a dislike of you, Ken. It's, you only want things your way, and you come before us, and you are a total different person outside of this type of meeting. But you continue to come before us. It continues to be an issue. When we think that we have resolved something, and let me say this, we're not going to do this. This is about the budget. This is not about your IT services. This is about us. We're under a public hearing. We're going to stick to the public hearing for that purpose.
And budget is being delayed because of the IT support.
Because it may cost a lot of additional money. So therefore, your budget can be increased.
Hostage in the meantime. So that's fine. We'll go forward with that.
Anyone else want to speak?
Just for clarification purposes now, if I did the math correctly, the increase in your budget or what was submitted is over 28,856. I mean, I don't know what you submitted, but, for 2022 budget. There's not really an increase.
Bill, do you have all the information?
It's on the spreadsheet.
It's on the spreadsheet, and, I mean, if I'm looking at it correctly, tax commissioner for, the 2021, your budget last year was 389,537, and for 2022, 417,393.
Correct.
So you've already got an increase in your budget, so what's the problem?
Well, Commissioner Plant, I don't know if you realize, but the economy has been sinking and the cost of prices have gone up. My contract services have gone up, as far as I can tell so far, almost 8%. So there is going to be an increase in how much things cost. Postage increased at the beginning of this year. So my postage budget has gone up. Like the training and travel associated with training, my office is going up because the previous tax commissioner didn't do or constitutionally require statutory training for 2 years.
What did you submit? What amount did you submit?
What I believe, and I don't have the budget in front of me.
Well, 10,000,
You do.
10,000
But
of
if I can answer
10,000
Commissioner Plant's question,
10,000 of the 28,000 increase was for advertising. Put that out there too.
and would you like to know what that's there for, Commissioner Threadgill?
I believe you said to advertise for more property sales.
We have 2,800 records for 5 days. 5 days, so if you're not familiar with 5 days,
I'm
it's
quite
late.
familiar with that.
Would you like me to answer the question, or you?
No, I don't want you to
Right.
sit there and question whether I know something or not. If you're not the only people for it.
There's a lot of people listening that would probably like to know, but it's, on the
Not
line.
for you, but go ahead.
So 2,800 different records for 5 days that were not filed under the previous administration. So before I can do another tax sale, I need to file all of the 5 days that we are authorized under the law.
Bill, how much has been used out of the advertising budget? Of the 15,000 from last year? I believe you said last time zero was out last year.
Yes, we haven't done any advertising because we haven't been able to do a tax sale.
So you automatically assume that it's gonna be 10 more thousand above the 15 that you have not even got this year.
I expect to have hundreds of properties before sale, and that's because I'm gonna do my job fairly regularly. So it's gonna cost money, it costs money to run it in the paper, I wish it didn't cost that much, but unfortunately it costs money to do my job, and I need the money to do it.
Okay. Anyone else? All right. Hearing none, do I have a motion to go out of public hearing? I have a motion, do I have a second? Motion and a second, all in favor, we're out at 6:30 p.m. It won't be voted on until later, Ken. All right.
Commissioner Threadgill, my name, in this hearing, I appreciate it if you use my title. I go out of my way to make sure I address everyone by their title in the study.
All right, I have a motion to go into public hearing number 2, case number 22-2021 from Mr. King Steve, for request of rezoning. Motion, do I have a second?
I'll say.
Motion and a second, all in favor. We are in public hearing at 6:30. Mr. Stevie?
Let's see. So, for the record, we have tried multiple times to contact Mr. King and have not been able to.
You really can't have the.
Go ahead. First thing I'd like to say before I get started is, in the advertisement, there was the 27.12 acres. That was, there was a plat that was done in June, and actually, it's not 27 acres, it's 20.83 acres. So I want to make that a record. Mr. Steve is requesting rezoning for 12.83 acres on Roosevelt Highway, also is tax parcel 136A081. Current zoning is RD. Mr. Steve would like to rezone it to neighborhood commercial. His plans is to use the property as a plant nursery. There are currently no structures on the property, but Mr. Steve's plans to construct a metal building and pole barn in the future. One of the conditions that we'd like to put on that is that there be a 100-foot undisturbed buffer between that neighborhood commercial property and the subdivision that is next door to it. There have been many phone calls inquiring about this rezoning from residents at Bellevue subdivision, the neighborhood that shares the property line with Mr. Steve. Members of that subdivision came to the board meeting in August. They did not have a quorum. Mr. Steve did not attend that meeting either. We have made several attempts to contact Mr. Steve without success. We had asked him to go to Georgia Department of Transportation to see about getting a driveway cut into the property off of Roosevelt Highway, because we don't think that he needs to come in off of Anita Drive, which is interest to the subdivision. Having said that, I will answer any questions.
I have a comment, it's not really a question. This is in my district, and I have met with the citizens that he spoke of within the Mountain View subdivision, and quite a few of them are represented here tonight, but 36 of the 39 property owners out there have signed a petition, acknowledging their concern about this, and one of their main concerns would be commercial traffic on subdivision roads, which you said, we know that's not a good idea there. And I know we can't really, people online probably cannot see this, but this is the shape of the property, and part of it is on the highway, but part of it goes way down into the woods behind the neighborhood. And of course, like I said, the use of the subdivision roads is a concern, and also just clear cutting. Because I know if it's moved to neighborhood commercial, your recommendation is to have a buffer, undisturbed buffer. And that, I think that would certainly be appealing to the people who live out there, but I do know they have spokesmen to speak for them. And I know they're hoping to be able to ask Mr. Steve questions as well, but.
Did you also say a turn lane on the main?
No, that would be a GI. Yeah.
We would have to talk to GDOT about it, because we don't know at this point if he has.
Knowing GI, it would probably be a turn.
But you said at the beginning, this was already, right?
Yes, sir.
Which means he can build houses on it if he wants.
It's a 2-acre minimum, that's correct. Residential.
But let me say on this, it's 12.8 acres. It is a 2-acre minimum, but there is a spring-fed creek on part of it, which makes part of it unusable. And there's also, I don't know if you have, well, you see how narrow it gets in that one spot. It's a lot of unusable area in there, so even though it's almost 13 acres, I don't know that it would meet the requirement for 6 homes on 2 acres, just because of the.
He would have to turn in a site plan,
Yeah.
he'd have to show all the creeks, wetlands, things like that, he'd have to show a design of the road, and he'd have to be county specs on all that.
Any other questions? Okay. Anyone else signed up want to speak? You want to state your name?
My name is Robert Shower, and I live at 350 River Road. They're in Mountain View, they're in Manchester. And my wife and my daughter lived there since 2008. And so I represent Omadon, and as you can see, many of our residents are here. We have, I believe it's 36 signatures. There are 39 residents and 72 signatures actually on the petition to not rezone it, commercial residential. And again, the concern we do have is the traffic that would possibly come in to our neighborhood on the roads there on Anita, Roberta, and Julia Circle. And so we definitely want the quality of life to be the same. We don't, nobody likes change, that's for sure. We know change is inevitable in life, but there's some things we can help. We'd like to keep our neighborhood very peaceful, a place where the roads, I know they're not the newest roads in the world, and so we know that commercial traffic would not be good coming into the neighborhood, especially on Julia Circle. We've heard that Mr. Steve may have had plans to come in on that backside down there close to the creek. That would be a great option for our neighborhood. And either coming in at Anita as well. And if it were to go commercial, the best thing we believe would be for it to come off of the main highway there. And deceleration, all the things that he would need to do. And so personally, I would like to say that I know that anybody that can buy property, that's just a wonderful freedom we have as American citizens. And so I respect that, totally respect that. And I know that hopefully he would have the right intentions. I don't know him personally, and I cannot speak against him personally, and this is not why I speak against the property. But I do like to speak for the whole residents of the neighborhood, for us to have a neighborhood that's going to stay the way it is, and for us to be in a place where I think of Mr. Bullock mentioned the creek that's coming through that property. If it were to be a nursery, we know there's going to be runoff. There's going to be things that, that's going to have to be truly protected. Mr. Bullock has his cattle behind that, and so that's a big concern also as well. So, and then also the clear cutting. I know that what I've been told is that if it is residential, he can clear cut it as well. He can do that right now if he wanted to. With the commercial, what you had said, that possibly there would be 100-foot buffer. So those are things we talked about that, but I know the consensus has been to just not rezone at all to keep residential. So that's what I have to say. Donna?
You got pretty good.
You'll just state your name and address.
Don Rogers, 488 Anita Drive. What Mr. Roberts said was absolutely true. Our neighborhood's been quiet for over 20 years. And I think as like the next man's success in business is what everybody wants to do. But doing it to profit yourself all over all others is not the right thing to do at all. And you'll be hurting everybody. We got retirees there that walk the neighborhood, walk around, get exercise, children, grandchildren, ride bikes. I cannot think of the one who would do that for commercial traffic anywhere. Like he said, the roads are not that great shape, they're not as wide as it should be. We have a problem with UPS driving, like race cars coming through there now. So, like, let's imagine it would be the other way. I have no problem with Mr. King. I don't know him personally, but he is trying to better himself, I'm sure. The second thing is, as he does put it under a, I think it's gonna be like a nursery. What is his future plans? And it's like, can we put that back as residential area as he fails or as he decides to change his business to something else? A gas station or anything else under the sun that may come up, he can do, as it's already been zoned. So we've got like some blockage there. There is a wash that cuts across Need Drive as the entrance comes in, a heavy wash, and it travels the completely distance of that property. And as you get on down further, you have the freshwater springs that feed Mr. Bullock's farm and cattle. I do not see how he can contend with that kind of wash unless he pipe the whole thing over. And if not, even if he cuts trees, it's gonna be ugly. So, I hope the board consider not doing it at all. If it comes back up to a later date, we'll be glad to come back and discuss and understand what our alternatives are, what his are. Right now, we decide that.
Any commissioners, any questions? Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Anyone else? All right, hearing none, do I have a motion to go out of public hearing? Have a motion and a second, motion and a second, all in favor, we are out of public hearing at 6:22. What's the pleasure of the board?
All right, I'm here about it. I have met with the constituents, that live out there, and I know you're saying that you would prefer that it not be rezoned at all.
Right.
I'm hearing that, okay. Because, we know that it's left as residential, he can certainly do what he wants to with the property, which is certainly his right. Since he is not here tonight, we could, deny anyway, because he is supposed to be present to talk about, his request. But we can leave it as is, and then if he wants to further, he can file again. I think he has to wait 6 months, is that right? And, he could file again for another change, whatever, but otherwise we can just leave it like it is. That's what y'all asking.
You want to put that?
I'll put that in form of a motion that we leave it as is.
Have a motion to leave as is, I'll second. Motion and a second, all in favor? Motion carries. Thank you all very much.
Thank you. Thank y'all. We appreciate it.
All right. Next item is item number 1, approve fiscal year 2021-2022 budget and design resolution of adoption for the year beginning 2021 fiscal year budget. Hearing the recommendations and changes that need to be made, do I have a motion on the budget?
I'm going to accept this
With the changes that they're in.
with the changes as necessary, yes.
Not clarify.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
As I stated originally, what we're asking
we understand we're going to have to adjust it when we do the IT. So my issue was leave the budget where it is for last year, which was operational and fine. We're going to come back with the IT proposal. Then we could adjust the budget, or you guys could adjust the budget that time to accommodate it. That was my only thing, not to decrease the budget or not to do anything other than let's get all of our figures together, what we need to do.
Because, any budget is a projection anyway, and it doesn't mean it's going to be there. We've had to do a lot of amendments to budgets for everyone. So hearing that, do I have a motion to accept as presented? Motion, have a second? Motion and a second, all in favor? Motion carries. Item number 2, confirm 2022 contact form for ACCG Group Self-Insurance Workers' Compensation Fund.
Mr. Chairman, On
Yes, ma'am.
that previous one, do we need to amend the budget to say, and sign the resolution for the chairman to sign? We didn't say
Do I
that, I
have
don't
a
think.
motion to amend? Have a motion, do I have a second?
And motion.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Sorry
Okay,
about that.
that's all right. All right, item number 2, confirm 2022 contact form for ACCG Group, Self-Insurance Workers Compensation Fund. Is that the one to add Valerie to, or?
Chairman Redgill and Board, that is to add Valerie Chambers, the Human Resources Director, as the insurance contact and the claims contact, and to add Bryn Jones as the safety coordinator.
Okay. Hearing the recommendation, do I have a motion to accept?
So move.
I have a motion, do I have a second? Motion and a second, all in favor? Motion carries. Item number 3, approval to purchase a 2014 dump truck model M2106.
Yeah, that's fine. This is to replace a 2003 Tandem that has a blown engine. The cost of a new engine to put in that is between $35,000 and $40,000. It's a critical piece of equipment that handles gravel hauling, and the amount for the 2014 is $72,000.
Do I have, hearing the recommendation of the 2014 dump truck for $72,000, do I have a motion to accept?
Motion necessary, so I make a motion.
Motion, do I have a second?
Second?
Out of the splost.
Yes.
All right, have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor? Motion carries. Item number 4, update on paving request, Beulah Evans Road.
Mr. Gay will address this to the board.
There, Beulah Evans
She said
update.
you were gonna do that.
Beulah Evans Road, we brought this request for resurfacing or paving, back before you guys last time. There were some, we were a little short on some of the names. I will say that the residents out there, particularly Ms. Woolback's, did a really good job going out and getting all the signatures. And Bill Caulfield and I have actually met her out there, and we got some more. We're at a point now where there's only a couple people we need to talk to, and we think they're going to be fine to move forward with doing this project. So what we would like to ask the board's permission for is to be able to move forward with producing the deeds. These will be simplified versions that will just deed 30 foot from the center line to the property. We'll prepare those for all the property owners, and then we will bring this back to the board for your approval and acceptance of the deeds that then can be sent into our paving program. This road does qualify in terms of the number of traffic flow, the number of houses it's served. It is a public road, and once we obtain the right of way, we'd be able. It is a relatively expensive project at about $750,000 or so, but it will be a major project serving a lot of the residents. So we would recommend approving the staff to move forward with preparing the deeds to be able to obtain the right of way.
All right, thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Thank
Hearing
you.
the recommendations, do I have a motion to approve staff to move forward?
So move.
Have a motion, do I have a second? Motion and a second, all in favor? Motion carries.
Those people will be glad.
Oh, yeah.
They've worked hard.
Ms. Womack, are you on? I see you on there. All right, she didn't unmute. Item number 5, Lake Meriwether Board Report.
Mr. Chairman, I have a report here I'd like to give that from our last meeting. Only a couple of items that we have to come back and vote on. But Lake Meriwether has done rather well this time. We've had adequate camping.
Hold on, Ms. Womack.
There I am.
Hold on just a second.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to say, did you hear that?
Hello?
We got a couple more things to do, and then we'll be moving forward with your road, hopefully.
Can y'all hear me? I'm having a
We can hear you, but I think there is a connection issue.
really bad connection.
I'll call you later. All right, go ahead, Buster.
Okay, there's some items, of course, like I said, which Lake Meriwether's doing a good job of producing an income for the county. And we have some items that we'd like to include here that would increase that income, and we think, in the very near future. One of the largest things that we'd like to, well, the largest agenda item here that I have is we would like to put broadband at Lake Meriwether, and we've received a bid of about $4,000 that will take care of that, working through Steve there in Woodbury to cover the lake. Right now, there's very little telephone service out there. I mean, it's a horrible place, but we can work this to where it will be part of our service that will be offered to our customers that come in. Another thing that's been asked for us to do, Lake Meriwether is being discovered. Even last night, I hear that we have more people coming in from England. We have people, a couple of folks down there from California.
California, I met
They're
two of
finding
them.
out and they're coming in, and a lot of times they don't know how to get there. So we're wanting to request to install signage at State Route 18 and State Route 85. There'll be about 3 signs pointing in that direction so people will know how to get out to the lake. I'll come back to those two in just a minute. We're going to be looking here in the near future and getting some cost estimates of our resurfacing the parking area, as well as we're going to have to do the road across the dam. That's going to be pretty much mandatory to get that done across the dam. There are some rules that you have with earthen dams that you have to follow, and that's one of the things we're going to have to do. So we'll be looking at that here in the near future. We're looking at this time to add another service there for the RV campers. We're going to be looking at a new septic system that, while we're putting it in, we're going ahead and put a joint trench in there where we can lay out new electrical, new water lines, and of course the sewer lines all at one time, which we've never had sewer there at that facility. So that will be an added dimension, I think. And as we lay this out, we're kind of stuck with about 8 camping sites we can use. We're going to see if we lay this out, and I'll have to be working with Butch and company down there to get everything laid out on the whole. If we get this installed, of course, that will be an increase in price that we can use for our RV campers. Another thing that we're working on, and I'm going to take it back to them this time, because we worked on it some here, setting up an online reservation system that will help us for people that's trying to reach us and trying to get to that area to camp. This weekend, we already have more RVs that have been turned down than we normally get. So with cotton picking fair, there's more people want to come down, and we just don't have space. We're out. We only have 8 usable spaces there. Having said all that, I would like to get the board's permission to go ahead and install the broadband connection at Lake Meriwether.
What was the cost on that?
About $4,000 for the entire thing.
Would this come out of the splosh that we had set up for recreation?
We can pay it back.
They have it in their
Oh, y'all
budget.
have it. You have it. Okay.
Yeah, they're,
I'm gonna say there's money in the
Yeah.
fund budget, money in the SPOS budget, money in the ARP budget.
yeah, they make a lot of money.
Well, I knew y'all collected a lot of money, so you got the money.
As much as $5,500 more.
Oh, okay.
So hearing the report on Lake Meriwether and the recommendation to place broadband for around $4,000, do I have a motion to do so? Have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor? Motion carries.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Come back at the next meeting, confirm which pot of money it comes
Okay.
We can talk about that. I'd like to go ahead and get this request to install the signage there at State Route 18. Will we need a motion to do that, John?
You see the motion to ask, to allow us to do that, we'll, do signs, direction signs,
I say GDOT will have to have say in that.
So do I have a motion to move forward with that?
So move.
Have a motion, do I have a second? Motion and a second, all in favor? There you go.
That's all I have. Thank you all.
Thank you. Item number 6, develop,
Is that only for State Route 18? What about the?
85, where they come together.
Okay.
item number 6, develop and execute agreement with City of Manchester.
Chairman and Board, City of Manchester's engine was in an accident, and while it is in the shop, it will take about 2 to 3 weeks to get fixed. So they are wanting to borrow one of our second-tier engines. This IGA will protect us liability and accidental damage.
Hearing that, do I have a motion to allow for develop and execute the agreement with Manchester?
So moved.
Have a motion?
Second.
Motion and a second. What there?
That will include the chair with the signature.
Oh.
For the chair to sign.
And approved by legal as well.
Okay. All right, motion, do I have a second? Motion and a second, all in favor? Motion carries. Item number 7, closure of streets for airport purpose.
Yes, on October 6th.
I didn't write it all down.
Sorry. On October 16th, the the airport will have activities and a fly-in. The staff is requesting closure of Harmony Church Road and Thompson Wydell Road during the event.
That's pretty much it.
I think that's what we did last time too, wasn't it?
And it only lasts a couple hours when the air show's going on, then they can go out and look.
So hearing the recommendation, do I have a motion to close those roads during the time expressed?
So moved.
I have a motion, do I have a second? Motion and a second, all in favor, motion carries. Item number 8, discuss IT services. Michelle, Mr. Gay, whoever.
Yeah, we've already discussed this, if not, but, you know, again, my recommendation is that we ask the tax commissioner to seek IT services and contract for those services and to bring that back to the board. And at that time, you know, you guys can approve that, and we will make budget adjustments that are necessary to be able to accommodate that. And
3.
like to have 3 quotes. That's what we normally do. If we can get 3 quotes, we'd like to have those. And
Okay.
that's my recommendation.
Hearing the recommendation from Mr. Gay, do I have a motion to allow the tax commissioner to move forward with the request of 3 RFPs for IT services and do a budget amendment accordingly once decided upon? Have a motion, do I have a second? Motion and a second, all in favor? Motion carries. All right, next item is report from Finance Director. Mr. Beal?
We've got 3 reports in front of you. First one is bank balances for the county. General fund's down to 830. We've got a couple more payrolls to get before the big money comes in on October 15th. I'm a little bit concerned about that. Now, remember, we've got $2 million sitting in this state treasury fund downtown, so I'm not concerned with that. Everything else looks pretty good. That report is the 2020 T-SPLOST, and for some reason we dipped down for the month of August. I looked back at August last year, we were up from that, but we're down from July, but we're still, past 8 months, we're still averaging about 104,000, which is right at 10,000 more a month than what we're making. So that's still good. Next report is 2020 SPLOST, and logically it's down too as well, but $20,000, $30,000 down from July. It's also down from August of last year, so I'm not sure what's happening there or what's that close to. That's couple of months, but we're still running about $25,000 over our budgeted amount. So that's good. That's all I have unless you have any questions.
Mr. Chairman, I have a question. On the August for T-SPLOST and August for SPLOST, those numbers are the same. They're not typically the same number. Do you think that's a misprint?
I think that's probably a misprint.
Because we collect more on SPLOST than we do T-SPLOST.
I will correct that and get the email that report out to you.
Okay, thank you.
Glad you noticed that.
Any other commissioners? All right, thank you, Mr. Beal. Report from County Administrator.
Thank you, sir. Again, I would like to thank the Meriwether Board of Commissioners for allowing me to serve the citizens in Meriwether County. My first couple of weeks have been great, and I'm looking forward to serving in this capacity. I'm in the process of sending out a doodle poll to department heads and constitutional officers to come for a meet and greet. It'll be our first official meeting where we can get everyone in one room. We'll socially distance as needed, of course, but just kind of to familiarize me more so with their departments and their needs. Meriwether Chamber of Commerce sent out an email regarding the Tower House Farm Brewery and ribbon cutting. That is October 8th at 4 o'clock. We did talk about the airport activities and fly-in, which is October 16th. Last Friday, I had the privilege of attending the ACCG Fall Regional Training. The focus was on lost and redistricting. I put a copy in each of your boxes of the actual PowerPoints because a few commissioners went as well, but the actual PowerPoints have been printed out and put in your boxes. Governor Kemp on Monday announced a $1,000 pay supplement for all eligible sworn enforcement officials and first responders in Georgia. This information will be gathered and submitted to the OPB office at the governor's office. And that's all I have for y'all.
Thank you very much. Any commissioners have any questions for the administrator? We're very glad to have you. Thank you very much.
Glad to be here.
All right, report from county commissioners. Commissioner Hadley.
Just again, welcome to Michelle. I think it has been a good 2 weeks. Everything I've heard from anyone has been all very positive. We're glad you're here. I too attended the meeting on the lost and redistricting. It was very informative, and we got, I guess the redistricting has to be done this year, right? And then lost, we'll do those negotiations. We have deadlines next year. But there was a lot of good information, and so we have a lot of work to do on those two things. October the 9th is the Harvest Hoedown in Warm Springs. Warm Springs needs that little boost. We're just hoping for really good weather so they can have, good turnout that day, but do put it on your calendar. They'll start off with just an old-fashioned kind of parade at 11 a.m., and then there'll be vendors and food vendors and all there for the rest of the day. So if you have the opportunity, do come out and just support those in our county. In the city of Warm Springs, do have several things going on there. There's some renovation of a building there. It's just sort of across from Dollar General. And I don't know all the plans for it, but what I've heard that it's going to be an all-day breakfast kind of place and maybe a pub. But they've done a lot of cleaning around it and doing total renovation on it. So that'll be a little boost, something there in Warm Springs that we hope will come to fruition real soon. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Commissioner Plant.
Just want to mention Cotton Picking Fair that's this weekend, and of course, that's always a big event, and I'm sorry if I stole your thunder.
No, you didn't.
But with that being said, we were able to attend, my husband and I, the recognition Boy Scout event for Jim Maybond and Danny Marie.
Oh, yeah.
And that was well attended, and it almost felt normal.
Yeah, I did attend that. That was good.
It was a great event. So with that being said, hopefully we can have more of them. And I think that's about it for me.
Commissioner McCoy.
I'm going to use my time tonight to promote the schedule of coming events that the Manchester County Recreation Department has. And I've asked each one of these, and I've asked Ms. Beverly if we could get this out on the website. If you will look there, they have a Tuesday and Thursday fitness and defense class. And yes, it's negotiable as of the time. If you call them, you'll find out how they want to set it up. $3 a class is pretty cheap for that. October the 2nd, they're having their community market. They did this, I think we've done this before. I remember about that. The booth rental is $25 per booth, and that all starts at 8 a.m. Now, you notice that 18425 Main Street is right where the gym is, right where the school is. It should be fairly easy to find. October the 4th, they're going to begin flag football right there, same place. October the 5th, men's volleyball. October the 7th, women's volleyball starts. October the 30th, they'll have Saturday Halloween trick or trunk will be going on there. November the 20th, 2021, old school wrestling Now, don't pin me down on what we see as City Hall of Famers will be wrestling. More details coming within the next week or two. And the basketball sign up here at the rec, ages 4 to 14 starts this Saturday, October 2nd.
Is this on the website?
It's not yet.
Okay.
I just asked that we do not do. And that's all I had, Mr. President.
Commissioner Hines had a new master to be in meeting.
Okay.
Commissioner Hines?
You unmute her?
Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
We can.
Yes. How are
Good
you?
afternoon. I'm doing well. Thank you so much. Just a couple of things. I understand Elks Paving is in the county. I'm glad to know that they are here. From my understanding, they should start on Primrose Road tomorrow. I'm sure everyone on that road will be extremely happy to know. But I still have concerns that this has taken over a year to get this addressed. I know there were some things that we didn't have any control over. But once again, I would like this board to go back and look at how we will address when we contract something out and when subcontractors are not able to fulfill their obligation. So I would like for us to have that discussion at a later time, simply because there are very few companies that provide this service. I understand, as I said earlier, they've been here a week. I understand they've already done Cove Road, and I'm glad to know they were able to do that. But I was under the impression that once they came into the county, they were going to do Primrose first. I'm not sure what the order of how they're going to do which roads first. Would like to get a more clarity on the contract that they have for 2019. Also, I asked for a copy of the contract, and I did get it for the LMIG. Unfortunately, there's portions of it is not complete for the 2019, so I would like to get a more updated contract for the LMIG project that we have for 2019. The other thing I want to mention is for those citizens, and especially to Ms. Womack, who took the information that we provided once we adopted a process and procedures for doing roads, have met all our obligations. So once again, I applaud the board for just putting something in place to make it easy for the citizens to follow. And once that process is done, it makes everything so much easier. So once again, I applaud all those who have worked on the Beulah Evans project and those who will work further on any other project they would like to see done in the county regarding their roads. I think that's it. I also want to say to Commissioner Plant, thank you so much. I received the card that was very thoughtful of you. And once again, I wish everyone the best. Thank you.
We're glad to hear your voice, Shirley.
Thank you.
All right. And I actually don't have anything to add. I think everything was covered. Report from county attorney.
No report other than I do believe we have need for executive session to go to litigation and personnel.
Okay. Thank you very much. Next item is public comment. Is there anyone online that would like to speak? Oh, God. Okay, Kat.
3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Okay, so again, I would just like to have the board go back and look at the budget and what you approved, specifically for my office, which is last year's budget, which is out of alliance with the current state of what things cost. When I took office, the employees were starting out at $11 an hour. So if you think that it's fair to continue that, then I'll let my employees know that the Board of Commissioners said they should be paid that amount. And we'll see what we can do. But again, I would like some clarification on what the time frame is and what the expectations are once I can present the board with the requested bids for IT support.
Well, this is just time for comments. We don't answer back.
Okay, so you're not going to communicate with me. You're not going to take this opportunity to
Nope,
do that.
This is public comment.
Okay, well, I'll just continue. So we can, again, There are going to be times when this board needs to work with my office, and my office, again, has tried to work with your office, but we're going to have disagreements. And I think that if we can figure out a way to come to terms and realize that these disagreements are going to happen, but if we can meet them in a professional way, it's going to benefit this county. So if we can keep going, as far as if you're willing to work with me, I'm willing to come and sit down and talk. But when we get to a disagreement and I get thrown out, I don't think that that's beneficial for anybody. But I think, again, I'm putting this out here, I would be happy to come and speak with anyone. But if we can get to a point where we can figure out something, I'm open for it. I don't think this kind of distress, this discontent benefits this county. And all of us are
You mean the kind that you bring
here,
to the board?
all of us are here
I'm done with
to
it.
serve the citizens of this county. So if we can get to that, I think that if we can keep that in our heads and try to work towards that, I think that we can come to terms on this. So thank you for your time.
Have a good
And you all have my numbers. So let's hope we can come to something.
We've already made our decision with a vote earlier. I asked what we're going to do with the budget.
So again, you're penalizing my office.
We're not penalizing, and I will
You
comment.
did
We
vote
don't.
to decrease the number.
I'm done.
You did.
We're done. This is public comment. This is public comment, not constitutional officer comment.
Again, is, I'm gonna speak if some of my time's up because, and you.
Oh, my God.
Oh, is it? Well, again, it's just disappointing that you have penalized my office, the only office here, rather than try to work with the budget as it is.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Do I have a motion to go into executive session for the purpose of litigation and personnel? Have a motion. Do I have a second? Second. Motion and a second. All in favor? We're in executive session at 7:12. Motion. That was to, how do I need to word it, Michael? Sorry.
Following actions, which
We-
was to approve.
We took the following actions to increase or change salaries, and the motion was made by Commissioner McCoy, seconded by Commissioner Plant. Vote was 3, 1 abstained. I voted yes. Commissioner McCoy, Commissioner Plant, and Commissioner Hadley abstained. Is there anything else to come before this board? Hearing none, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Have a motion, do I have a second? Motion and a second, all in favor? We're adjourned, thank God.